only knew the power of the dark side. It is your destiny.
Hello everyone. It is June 17th, 2014, and I'm bringing you a story out of USA Today, and it's written by Chrissy Thompson of the Cincinnati Enquirer. And as you can see here, there is a picture. Voters stand outside the Board of Elections just before it opened, on October 2nd, 2012, in Cincinnati. And from what I know, that line has not shrunk anymore, and that they have attempting to move the Board of Elections out of the downtown area, where most people would have a chance to vote early before the election. So this is a story that suggests that Ohio was told that they must restore 3 early voting days. The court says. Ohio, the quintessential swing state, must allow voters to cast in-person ballots on the final 3 days before an election. The federal judge ordered Wednesday. The order from the federal judge in Columbus, Ohio, comes as a long-running dispute over early voting days. President Barack Obama's re-election campaign and the Democrats filed a lawsuit in 2012 against the state's election chief, Jon Husted, over the 2011 law that cuts off early person voting for most residents 3 days before the election. So that's what's been happening in Ohio, and just going to take you now to this right here. So this is an op-ed that was sent to the New York Times, and it says easy to vote in Ohio, June 13th, 2014. And the author is, guess who? Jon Husted. That's correct. But I will read his letter. Earlier this year, you opined that the Ohio mistrusts democracy, editorial March 16th. Now you say that there are more voting games in Ohio, editorial June 10th. In fact, in Ohio, we make it easier to vote, and we provide many options to accommodate all Ohioans equally. This November, under a schedule recommended by Democratic and Republican local election officials, Ohio voters will have 4 weeks to cast a ballot in person at their local Board of Elections, including 2 Saturdays, but if they choose, the same voters don't even have to leave home to cast their ballots, as my office will send absentee ballot applications to our registered voters. That is, I have confirmation of that. So that is true, but do they count them? That's the other thing. Do they count the absentee ballots? Do they count the provisional ballots? Do they count pre-registration before the election as accurately as they should? I don't know. Yes, no lines and 4 weeks to vote without ever leaving home. And let's not forget, Election Day itself, when polling places will be left open for 13 hours. We are well above the national average when it comes to voter access, exceeding the opportunities in our neighboring states. In a recent PEW study of how states conduct elections, Ohio moved up to 24 from 37, and New York ranked 47. I can confirm that study. I have looked at it. It does say something to that accord. Ohio is a leader in voter access. We will continue to make it easier to vote and hard to cheat. And as Secretary of State, I will spend my time encouraging Ohio voters to use their many options to vote, rather than trying to scare people into believing that it's hard. That's the real voter suppression. Now, we have a push here in Ohio, and that push has been driven forward by Alicia Reese. And I will show you that right here. So groups here in Ohio have created a push to create a voter bill of rights in Ohio. And that voter bill of rights most likely would be overseen by the 3 major parties here in Ohio. The political parties being the Green Party, the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, and any other party who has gotten enough support in Ohio to remain on the ballot. So, the supporters say it will prevent the erosion of voting rights by including those rights in the state's constitution. leaving this up to a vote of the people, Ohio is able to enact laws as voters with enough signatures gathered beforehand for an election. So I'll just read a little quote from Alicia Reese. "We've come to represent constituents, memberships, average citizens who have been crying out to protect voting rights. These are the same citizens who have been targeted by voter intimidation billboards. These are the same constituents who, some took almost 2 years for votes to be counted. These are the same constituents where some folks, to this day, have not been counted through provisional ballots. These are the same constituents who watched every day, once a week, a voter suppression bill that passes somewhere in Ohio General Assembly. No more temporary solutions to permanent problems. It is time for us to make the dream real." And by that dream, she is referring to the 1965 Voter Rights Act that was repealed and Martin Luther King's beloved community. They have to clear 385,247 signatures of registered county voters by July 2nd to place the proposal on the November ballot. I haven't seen any people trying to gather signatures, so I don't know where they are in their effort. It is June 17th, so we'll see how far they come. Oh, as a side note, I should point out this article In These Times also. It's written by Stephanie Woodward. And it has been nearly 50 years since the Voting Rights Act had been passed. And it highlights that Native Americans still do not have access to the ballot. And this is in Montana. The Native American populations are being disenfranchised in being able to vote for candidates, even though that they have a majority population or a minority population from representing themselves at any point. I will leave a link to this at the bottom, along with the others. This is Take the Gate. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Signing out.